In 1992, 5-year-old Matthew Vaudreuil was killed by his mother, Verna. Verna had been a child in care. In 2002, Sherry Charlie was killed by a family member who had been caring for her after she had been removed from her biological parents. In 2000 and between 2007 and September of 2012, according to BC's representative for children and youth, 504 children and youth perished while receiving care. Some were in foster care, others had been in care less than a year previous. About every 4 days, in other words, a child or youth in the care of the British Columbia government dies, including those who have received services within the last year. Those are stats taken from the Tyee, which wrote an article on this in 2013. Let's go back to 1992. In 1992, Judge Gove did a report that said, the conclusion of which was that children in care were being harmed because children in British Columbia were being harmed because there were not enough social workers who were certified. Then the system was changed, his recommendations were implemented, and social workers were required to be properly certified, to have degrees, and to be properly designated social workers in order to be a part of the child protection system. We move forward to 2015 when Bob Plekas did a report following the JP case in British Columbia, where a parent sued the ministry because of the way things went with her children in care, where they were allegedly harmed by their biological father as a result of social workers' decisions. In that report in 2015, Bob Plekas said between 1992 and 2015, when Matthew Vaudreuil was murdered by his mother in 1992, and 2015, when JP sued the ministry, nothing significantly had changed, even though social workers and other healthcare providers within the child protection system were required to be certified. So Bob Plekas noted, the issue is not certification. It is that the community is not doing the job which it is supposed to be doing, and social workers are trying to do the job that the community is supposed to be doing. In other words, social workers are carrying the communities of British Columbia on their backs, and children are dying and being harmed because of it. As of March 31, 2019, according to MCFD statistics, about 500 children experienced recurrence of maltreatment following reunification and were returned to care. The number of children who fall through the cracks with no protective intervention is likely higher, as in my experience as a foster parent, parents who feel unsupported and afraid of what they experience as punitive separation with no real solutions avoid observation, and they encourage their children to do the same. Therefore, we know that hundreds more children in British Columbia are actually at risk. This is not just that there were about 500 documented children repeatedly harmed and returned to care in 1 year. This is an annual trend. So every year, thousands of children are at risk. This is a public health crisis. My name is Saran Lewis, formerly known as Adia. I was a single mother to my 2 beautiful daughters and single foster mother to 28 other infants and children between 2009 and 2019. Parenting alone as I saw other struggling parents separated from their children, was hard. We were not meant to do life alone and not meant to be punished for struggling. We need each other. So I decided that even though I was still parenting alone, I would find a way to make space to be with other mothers who needed the kind of support that I wish our family had. And I'll pause to say that it's not a gendered issue. There are single dads, nuclear families, extended families, grandparents who are caring for their children who are struggling just as much. But my passion, my calling is specifically to deal with single moms, to support single moms. And I dearly hope that someone will pick up the mantle and provide support to other types of families. My children came along for that because they were children. They went where I went. My decisions have an impact on them, and I had chosen to share myself. I am so grateful to my daughters, Anjali and Priya, who have sacrificed without choosing to sacrifice. They are the real heroes here. They've embraced extra people in our family space and been as kind and helpful as they can be while still growing up and figuring out who they are. Our family didn't need a large home, and to create space to be with and for other families, we needed more space than our family could occupy. Our goal was that families will live freely and cooperatively together, creating a norm of healthy interdependent connection. We, within the home community, all invest in ourselves and we invest in each other as much as we can. That means we take action. We work together with consideration, openness, respect, boundaries, and most of all, love. Love first for ourselves as the Creator, not religion, loves us, and then love for each other. So we help each other where we can, and we take responsibility for ourselves and the choices that we make for ourselves. We grow with care for mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health, and we grow with respect for each other. Something different immediately needed to be done, and so we tried it. We believe that we are better together with each other and with the Creator, and so we began a program that we called Integrated Family Connections in a home that we called I Am With You House, because we are together in intentional, loving, empathetic connection. We maintain a religion-neutral environment. We believe that each person will meet their higher power in exactly the way that they need. So we live together with kindness, openness, respect, and honesty. We have been doing this since 2019, from 2019 until today, where although our family will need to relocate because of a crisis which we are currently experiencing, we hope that the vision will be carried forward by other families in British Columbia and throughout Canada, and indeed throughout the world, who want to see the community take its place instead of allowing the government to try to carry a burden on their backs which they were not meant to bear. The government the government systems of protection exist to catch people who are in deep crisis, who may have fallen through the community cracks. The community needs to step up in order to do its part to keep our families safe, keep our families healthy, keep our families happy, keep our families living at ease, keeping the people within our family known and loved. That is my dream. It is my dream. It is my goal to see that every single mom with whom I come in contact, every single mom who becomes a part of our Integrated Family Connections network will begin to know themselves and will therefore be able to take well care of their family, feeling that they have been given refuge, that they have been restored, and that they then have the strength and the ability to rebuild their dreams and build their family on a solid foundation. This creates generational health. We break generational cycles of trauma that have so long affected us. Epigenetics is a very real thing, and we see that throughout our communities, trauma has deeply affected us. And this does not mean something it doesn't need to be the way it is. There is the possibility for change, and we simply need to pivot to do the things that are absolutely needed. We need to move towards healing in order for us to achieve exactly everything that our heart desires. It is possible, and we only can do this together. Therefore, I call on all of us to take up our place, to begin to do the work inside that we need to heal ourselves, to know ourselves, to love ourselves, and then to love each other. We are not in British Columbia at the moment because I am taking the steps, our family is taking the steps that we need to move forward for healing because of trauma in another person's life. My young daughter, who's 18 years old and who decided that she wanted to take the right that is hers to develop relationships, intimate relationships with another person, she began to date someone who abused her. That is not acceptable. Abuse happens because people are hurt and wounded. When we are healed, when we are known, we can then begin to interact with each other in healthy, positive, strengthening, wonderful ways that create the beautiful place that this can be. We can do this together.